The courtroom was tense, every eye fixed on the unfolding drama that could change royal history forever. Queen Camilla, known for her composed public image, was seen breaking down in tears, a moment of raw vulnerability that shocked everyone present. Across the room stood King Charles, his voice heavy with years of buried pain, as he revealed secrets about Princess Diana's tragic death that had remained hidden for decades. Prince Harry, too, stepped forward with a powerful testimony, exposing the tangled web of palace intrigue and family betrayal. His revelations suggested that Diana's fatal car crash wasn't merely a tragic accident, but the result of forces working behind the scenes, aiming to silence a princess who dared to challenge the royal establishment. This emotional courtroom moment shattered the polished veneer of the monarchy, laying bare deep fractures within the family and stirring public doubts about the truth they had been told for years. Camilla's breakdown was more than just tears. It was a sign of the immense pressure and guilt she carried amid decades of secrets and conspiracies. As the royal family faces its darkest hour, the world watches with bated breath. Who really unalived Diana? And what will these revelations mean for the future of the crown? This story is far from over. In fact, it might just be beginning. William's tears and Charles's reveal. The courtroom was heavy with tension as King Charles solemnly handed Prince William a sealed letter. This letter wasn't just any piece of paper. It was written by Princess Diana just days before her tragic death. As William unfolded the letter, the emotions that had been bottled up for decades poured out. Tears streamed down his face as he read the raw, heartbreaking words from his mother. The courtroom fell silent, as if time itself paused to honor Diana's voice, finally breaking through the silence. Charles's decision to reveal this long-hidden letter was unprecedented. For years, the royal family maintained strict secrecy about Diana's final days, preserving a polished public image. But this moment cracked that facade. Charles's public confession marked a breaking point, exposing the deep fractures that had festered beneath the royal surface for too long. This wasn't just a display of grief, it was a seismic shift in the monarchy's story. William's breakdown brought to light the personal pain behind the crown's grandeur. The letter's contents painted a vivid picture of Diana's emotional struggle and fear, revealing a side of the princess the public had never fully seen. What made this moment so powerful was how it forced the world and the monarchy itself to confront decades of silence. It showed a family still healing, grappling with loss and betrayal. For many watching, William's tears symbolized a call for truth and reconciliation, signaling that the story of Diana was far from over. As the courtroom absorbed this emotional moment, the focus turned to Diana's haunting final words, the plea for peace that would forever echo in the hearts of her sons and the world. These words offer insight not just into her pain, but into the unraveling of a royal marriage shadowed by turmoil. Diana's final words. Diana's letter was filled with sorrow, but also a desperate hope for peace amid chaos. Her handwriting, though hurried, carried the weight of a woman battling loneliness and fear. She openly reflected on the collapse of her marriage to Charles and the growing shadow cast by Camilla, a presence that brought strain not just to her relationship but to the entire family. Her words revealed a profound isolation. Despite the global spotlight and public adoration, Diana felt unseen and vulnerable. Behind her graceful public image lay a heart weighed down by emotional turmoil. This letter read like a prophecy, a mother's plea that foreshadowed the tragic car crash that would take her life. She wrote not as a princess, but as a mother fearful for her sons and her own safety. The raw honesty in her message tore through years of royal silence, reminding everyone of the emotional battles Diana faced privately. For William and Harry, these words were both a revelation and a reminder. They carried their mother's pain and resilience forward. Diana's final plea for peace was a call to break free from the royal shadows, to seek healing and truth. With Diana's heartbreaking letter as the backdrop, the focus sharpens on the broken marriage that lay at the heart of this family tragedy. The tense triangle between Diana, Charles, and Camilla created a storm of emotions and betrayal that shaped the palace's darkest days. Tensions between Diana, Charles, and Camilla. The story of Diana, Charles, and Camilla is one of public smiles masking deep private wounds. Their turbulent love triangle was filled with unspoken betrayals and heartache that no amount of royal protocol could hide. As Charles grew closer to Camilla, Diana's emotional and psychological struggles worsened. The palace became a pressure cooker of rivalries and politics. Diana's sense of isolation was intensified by the cold whispers and calculated moves behind closed doors. Letters and testimonies from those close to the family paint a picture of a woman increasingly marginalized, fearful, and desperate for understanding. Her pain wasn't just personal, it was political. The pressures of palace life, combined with her fractured marriage, left Diana vulnerable. Her letters reveal growing despair as she fought to protect her children and her dignity amid a crumbling relationship. This tension built toward the tragic events of 1997, creating a heartbreaking backdrop to a story that captivated the world. The broken marriage wasn't just about two people, it was about a family and a monarchy struggling to hold itself together. Having explored the complexities of Diana's marriage and pain, the next chapter shifts focus to William's role, how he carries his mother's legacy, the weight of his grief, and the hope he holds for healing amid these painful revelations. Carrying his mother's pain and legacy. Prince William stands as the living bridge between his mother's tragic past and the future of the monarchy. From the moment he unfolded Diana's letter in court, the weight of her pain became impossible to hide. His tears were not just about grief. They represented years of silent suffering, a burden he carried in private while maintaining public composure. William's commitment to preserving Diana's true story deepened with this revelation. He understands the importance of honoring her memory, not just as the people's princess, but as a real woman who faced fear and loneliness. His role is complicated by the strained relationships with his father and Camilla, who now stand exposed by the courtroom drama. Despite this, William remains hopeful for healing. The emotional moment signaled not only pain, but a chance to rebuild family bonds torn apart by secrets and betrayal. For William, this isn't just personal. It's a responsibility to carry Diana's legacy with honesty and strength. His vulnerability revealed in court humanizes him in ways never seen before, connecting him to a public that has long sympathized with his struggle. In his tears, many see a prince not just destined for a throne, but shaped by the very tragedies that define his family's history. While William grapples with his mother's legacy, King Charles steps into the spotlight, confronting his own past and revealing truths long buried. His confession not only redefines his image, but also changes the royal narrative forever. Charles's confession. King Charles's decision to publicly reveal Diana's final words was shocking, but deeply human. For decades, he guarded the palace's secrets, maintaining a careful image amid swirling rumors and scandals. Yet, in the courtroom, he chose vulnerability over silence, admitting to past failings and opening a new chapter of royal honesty. His motivations are complex. Guilt, desire for reconciliation, and a strategic move to manage the royal narrative all likely played a role. By confronting his past openly, Charles reshapes how the public views him, from the man embroiled in scandal to a figure seeking redemption. This confession ripples through his marriage to Camilla and the wider family. It forces a reckoning with long-hidden tensions and cracks the polished surface of royal decorum. Charles's truth-telling may help heal wounds, but it also raises questions about loyalty and accountability within the monarchy. For many, this moment is a turning point, signaling that the royal family must face its darkest chapters to survive and evolve. As Charles grapples with these revelations, attention turns to Camilla, her silence, her role, and the emotional toll it has taken. Her breakdown in court speaks volumes about the pressures and suspicions clouding her future. Her role in the family drama. Queen Camilla's courtroom breakdown was a rare glimpse behind the royal mask. Long perceived by the public as poised and controlled, her tears revealed a woman overwhelmed by decades of pressure and accusations. Speculation swirls about her involvement, or at least her knowledge, of the palace's hidden machinations surrounding Diana's death. Camilla's public image contrasts sharply with whispers of a more calculating, guarded figure behind the scenes. Rumors suggest she played a role in managing the fallout from Diana's tragic life and death, navigating a palace rife with secrecy and betrayal. The courtroom moment forces the world to reconsider her place in the royal drama. Her tears can be read as guilt, remorse, or the crushing weight of bearing royal secrets. Whatever the truth, this moment challenges her standing as queen consort and raises difficult questions about loyalty to Charles, to the monarchy, and to Diana's memory. Camilla's role remains one of the monarchy's most contentious issues, and this breakdown signals that the past is far from settled. With Camilla's emotional collapse shaking the palace, the royal family's long-hidden power struggles come into focus. These behind-the-scenes battles have shaped decisions and silenced voices for decades, a shadowy world now exposed to public scrutiny. The royal family's hidden power struggles. Exposed behind the palace's glittering facade lies a tangled web of rivalries and power plays, many fueled by Diana's outspoken nature and growing influence. Her willingness to challenge royal norms threatened the old guard, stirring fears that the monarchy's carefully controlled image was at risk. These tensions created factions within the family, each vying to protect their own interests and silence dissent. Princess Anne's courtroom testimony shed light on these long-buried conflicts, revealing how palace politics weren't just about tradition, but about control over narratives, power, and legacy. Those opposed to Diana's rising voice allegedly took drastic measures to maintain order, with hints that the tragic car crash was no mere accident, but a calculated act. This revelation forces a reckoning with decades of palace secrecy and the high stakes of royal image management. The fractures revealed threaten to unravel the family's public unity and expose the ruthless underbelly of royal life. What was once whispered in corridors is now center stage, challenging the monarchy's claim to transparency. For the public, it's a shocking reminder that behind royal smiles and ceremonies, very human and very messy, power struggles are at play. With the palace's internal battles laid bare, attention turns to how royal traditions have long been used to control stories and silence truths. The monarchy's machinery for managing scandal is both intricate and unforgiving, shaping what the world sees and what it doesn't. The machinery of royal silence. The British monarchy has a long history of controlling its image by carefully managing scandals and uncomfortable truths. From the moment Diana entered the royal family, palace aides, intelligence operatives, and media allies worked behind the scenes to protect the institution's reputation, often at great personal cost to those involved. Anne's testimony unveiled these covert operations, how palace insiders monitored Diana, suppressed her voice, and manipulated public perception to keep damaging stories under wraps. The role of the press, palace aides, and intelligence services created a formidable wall of silence, reinforcing royal tradition over transparency. These mechanisms, designed to preserve the monarchy's dignity, ultimately clashed with modern demands for openness. The palace's resistance to truth allowed suspicion and conspiracy theories to fester, undermining public trust. Now, with these secret controls exposed, the monarchy faces a critical crossroads. Continue with old methods of secrecy, or adapt to a world where honesty is demanded and silence no longer holds. As the system of silence crumbles, the focus shifts to Diana herself, her isolation, fear, and the emotional toll of life within these shadowy palace walls. Understanding her struggle is key to grasping the full weight of what was lost that fateful night. Diana's isolation. Princess Diana's last years were marked by profound loneliness and despair. Despite being adored worldwide, behind palace walls, she faced deliberate exclusion, surveillance, and isolation. Anne's revelations bring to light how palace politics not only marginalized Diana, but actively worsened her emotional state. Evidence from royal archives and testimonies shows how key figures worked to silence her, shutting her out of important conversations and controlling her movements. This isolation wasn't accidental. It was part of a broader effort to diminish her influence and presence. Diana's private diaries and recordings, referenced in court, paint a heartbreaking picture of fear and vulnerability. She feared for her safety, felt betrayed by those she trusted, and expressed deep sorrow over losing her family and voice. This emotional turmoil, exacerbated by palace hostility, made her tragically vulnerable. The psychological wounds she bore contributed to the circumstances leading up to the Paris crash, making her story not just one of a public figure, but of a woman crushed by betrayal. From Diana's heartbreaking isolation, the story moves forward to the royal family's immediate reactions after her death. How they handled the aftermath reveals much about the monarchy's struggle to maintain control amid chaos. Aftermath and damage control. The tragic news of Diana's death sent shockwaves through the world, but behind palace walls, a fierce battle to control the narrative began immediately. The royal family's first instinct was damage control, trying to manage public grief while containing internal fractures. Charles and Camilla took center stage, navigating the delicate balance between public mourning and protecting the monarchy's image. Reports reveal how palace aides worked tirelessly to shape media coverage, deflect suspicion, and silence dissenting voices. The family's strained relationships deepened as grief mixed with blame and mistrust. Camilla's role became even more scrutinized during this period. Behind the scenes, she was seen managing public perception, but rumors hinted at tensions with other family members. The fallout from Diana's death set a tone of guardedness and crisis management that would define royal communications for years. This post-crash phase exposed how fragile the monarchy's image was, and how reliant it was on strict control to maintain its facade of unity. The palace was no longer just a home, but a battlefield where image and power often trumped personal healing. As the family struggled internally, The global media and public swarmed with questions, suspicion, and calls for answers. The next phase of this story focuses on how the world reacted to these shocking revelations and what it meant for royal trust. Global media frenzy and public outcry. The courtroom revelations ignited a media firestorm unlike anything seen before in royal history. Worldwide news outlets scrambled to cover the explosive claims, especially those implicating palace factions in Diana's death. Social media exploded with hashtags demanding truth, justice, and transparency. Public sympathy for Diana and support for Harry's courage in speaking out surged, but so did criticism of Camilla and the royal establishment. This media frenzy revived conspiracy theories that had long simmered in the background, breathing new life into calls for official investigations. Royal approval ratings took a hit as trust waned. The monarchy's image, once nearly untouchable, appeared vulnerable and brittle. For many, these revelations were a wake-up call that the polished royal narrative masked deep dysfunction. This global outcry put immense pressure on the palace to respond, whether through silence, denials, or steps toward accountability. The world was watching closely, demanding more than royal platitudes. With public pressure mounting, the monarchy faced not just a PR crisis, but serious legal and constitutional questions. How the palace navigates this will shape the future of the crown and its place in modern society. Legal and constitutional crisis. The courtroom drama stirred a legal storm. Questions arose about royal immunity. Could decades of secrets shield the monarchy from scrutiny? Calls for public inquiries into Diana's death gained momentum, fueled by new evidence and witness testimonies. Parliament faced pressure to reconsider laws protecting royal confidentiality. Some proposed reforms to increase transparency, while others feared destabilizing the monarchy. The scandal brought constitutional debates into the spotlight. How much power should the royal family wield, and to what extent should they be accountable? Succession laws, long seen as untouchable, were now part of the conversation, especially with questions about Diana's lineage emerging. The monarchy's legal shield appeared thinner, and the need for crisis management more urgent than ever. The palace had to balance preserving tradition with adapting to modern demands for justice and openness. How they handled this moment could redefine monarchy's role for generations. Beyond laws and scandals, this crisis deeply affected the people at the heart of the family. The next section explores how William, Harry, and the younger generation are navigating a legacy shadowed by pain and truth. William, Harry, and preserving Diana's legacy. William and Harry stand at the crossroads of royal history and modernity, shaped profoundly by their mother's legacy. Charles's courtroom revelations impacted both sons personally and publicly, stirring complex emotions. While William has taken a protective, traditional role, striving to uphold the monarchy, Harry has been more outspoken, challenging secrecy and pushing for transparency. Their differing responses highlight the fractures within the family, but also their shared dedication to honoring Diana's memory. Catherine has emerged as a stabilizing figure, helping bridge family divides and focusing on preserving Diana's values within the younger generation. Together, they face the monumental task of healing wounds and modernizing royal traditions. Diana's story continues to inspire debate about the monarchy's future, shaping public expectations and the brothers' paths. The crown's survival may well depend on how these next leaders reconcile the past with the demands of today. As the courtroom drama unfolds, the royal family stands at a crossroads unlike any before. Queen Camilla's tearful breakdown, and King Charles's stunning revelations have exposed the fragile cracks beneath centuries of royal tradition and secrecy. For decades, the world has been told that Princess Diana's tragic death was a heartbreaking accident. But now, the truth seems far more complex, darker, and deeply unsettling. Prince Harry's courageous testimony has reignited debates about palace conspiracies, hidden agendas, and the lengths to which the monarchy might have gone to protect itself. The suggestion that powerful forces conspired to silence Diana challenges everything the public has believed and threatens to undermine the monarchy's foundation. For Camilla, the emotional collapse in court signals a reckoning with her own role in these long-buried secrets. Whether she was complicit or merely caught in the storm, her image as the calm queen consort is shattered, leaving the crown vulnerable as never before. But amid the pain and chaos, the next generation offers a glimmer of hope. William and Harry, shaped by their mother's legacy and this new truth, are poised to redefine the royal family's future. With Catherine's steady influence and the brothers' determination to honor Diana's memory authentically, there is a chance for healing, if the family can overcome its divisions. The question remains, can the monarchy survive this storm of truth and heartbreak? Or will Diana's final story mark the beginning of the end for the royal institution? One thing is certain: the world is watching, waiting for answers that may forever change the course of history.